The History of Herodotus. The second book, entitled Euterpe, translated by George Rawlinson, first published in 1858. This audiobook is based upon the Dunyazad Digital Library Edition. On the death of Cyrus, Cambyses, his son, by Cassandana, daughter of Pharnaspes, took the kingdom. Cassandani had died in the lifetime of Cyrus, who had made a great mourning for her at her death, and had commanded all the subjects of his empire to observe the like. Cambyses, the son of this lady and of Cyrus, regarding the Ionian and the Aeolian Greeks as vassals of his father, took them with him in his expedition against Egypt among the other nations which owned his sway. Now the Egyptians, before the reign of their king, Psammetichus, believed themselves to be the most ancient of mankind. Since Psammetichus, however, made an attempt to discover who were actually the primitive race, they have been of opinion that while they surpass all other nations, the Phrygians surpass them in antiquity. This king, finding it impossible to make out by dint of inquiry what men were the most ancient, contrived the following method of discovery. He took 2 children of the common sort and gave them over to a herdsman to bring up at his folds, strictly charging him to let no one utter a word in their presence, but to keep them in a sequestered cottage, and from time to time introduce goats to their apartment, see that they got their fill of milk, and in all other respects look after them. His object herein was to know, after the indistinct babblings of infancy were over, what words they would first articulate. It happened as he had anticipated. The herdsman obeyed his orders for 2 years, and at the end of that time, on his one day opening the door of their room and going in, the children both ran to him with outstretched arms, and distinctly said, "Bekos." When this first happened, the herdsman took no notice, but afterwards, when he observed, on coming often to see after them, that the word was constantly in their mouths, he informed his lord, and by his command brought the children into his presence. Psammetichus then himself heard them say the word, upon which he proceeded to make inquiry what people there was who called anything Bekos, and hereupon he learned that Bekos was the Phrygian name for bread. In consideration of this circumstance, the Egyptians yielded their claims, and admitted the greater antiquity of the Phrygians. That these were the real facts I learned at Memphis from the priests of Hephaestus. The Greeks, among other foolish tales, relate.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?